Hello peoples and popples, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Fiction&Flora, you can call me Flora, and I'm looking to end the year right. I'm looking to end it on just the best of notes. So what I'll be doing today is, excuse me, oh, I didn't tell you what day it is. Today is December 30th. We're at New Year's Eve, and so from today at noon all the way until midnight, I will just be reading as many books as I can. And we're gonna see what that looks like for me. I am going to be starting today with an audiobook. I have no plans for any other books so far. I just know that I'm starting with this audiobook. It's The 12 Days of Christmas Horror by Rick Wood. It's about 2 hours long at one-time speed, so I should get through it in about an hour. I think it's an anthology of his work. I don't know much about it. I just like kitschy horror, and what's more kitschy than Christmas? Anyway, so I'll be getting into this and I'll check back in with you once I'm done. Just finished the first book, and it was very edgy. It was very much the way, if it wasn't for the amount of cursing in it and like talking about dicks, I would definitely think this was meant for a younger audience, which I'm not mad about. It seemed like the author was having fun. I'm choosing not to rate it because it gave me what I was looking for, even if I didn't really like it. So here I am. I'm gonna do the second book, which is called 12 Days of Christmas Horror Volume 2, also by Rick Wood. It is now 2:05, and it should take me about an hour and 9 minutes to finish. So I'll check back in at 3, I guess. See you then. Okay, just finished the second book, and honestly, I'm not gonna rate it again, but if I was, it would definitely be a 1-star. If the first one was just a little bit young, that's, you know, that's neither here or there. It just, you know, it gave me what I wanted, it just wasn't to my taste. This one felt worse. Like, it didn't feel, like the first one wasn't what I personally would consider well written. This one is not even meeting the standards of the first. It's not like there was typos or something, just the writing style was not very good. And then also something that really rubbed me the wrong way when it came to this particular volume of this series is that the misogyny really jumped out this time around. Like in the first book, there was that undercurrent of misogyny, but like the casual misogyny you see from someone who grew up in a patriarchal society. It's not a malicious kind of misogyny. It's just something that, hey, you grew up in a society that has these very specific ideas, and you haven't had the chance or taken the time to really examine what those ideas are, and you have internalized them, and so that comes out in subtle ways regardless of your overall feelings towards other people. This one felt deliberately mean towards women. This one felt a little bit malicious. Like in multiple stories, it is just casually put in there almost as a side note or a laugh about a woman being sexually assaulted in one way or another, and like enough that it was noticeable. Like it was there, and you were not going to get away with not knowing about it. And like to the point where there was this continuous like sidebar where you are hearing from this character who, yeah, is supposed to be a despicable character, which is fine, but it didn't feel like the author I don't know how to describe it, but like, again, the difference between the first book and this book is just, it's overall felt less mature, which I didn't know was possible. It felt worse written, and it also just like felt much meaner towards women than the first one. And this is coming from the same author, so I don't know what happened between them. I don't know if maybe he received good feedback on certain parts and then decided to include them more in this second book. I don't know if maybe he's been on the fucking internet, because he definitely mentioned COVID, so this might have been during 2020 when a lot of people were going down the red, I mean they still are, but like a lot of people were headed down that red pill you know, tunnel. So I don't know what happened between the first and the second book. All I know is I did not like it, and at first I was willing to look at a little bit more of his anthologies just to see how his writing has changed over the years, and maybe because like he seems to do fun kitschy things, and I love fun kitschy writing, but I just don't think if this is something that I want to continue in. Anyway, now that I've talked your ear off, the next book I'm thinking of pulling out, and this one's gonna take me longer. Actually no, that's not the one I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do that one. I was gonna continue in the series, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. Today, the next book I'm going to read is Weasels in the Attic by Hiroko Oyamada. I have read The Factory. It is one of my all-time favorite books. It's just so weird. I also read The Hole, also by Hiroko Oyamada, and I've been wanting to read Weasels in the Attic, but up until this year, I haven't really had an easy time when it comes to reading ebooks, just because I get distracted very easily. So we're gonna see how this goes. I don't know what this story is about, so let's find out together. From the acclaimed author of The Hole and The Factory, a thrilling, mysterious novel that explores fertility, masculinity, and marriage in contemporary Japan in 3 interconnected stories, Hiroko Oyamada revisits the same set of characters at different junctures in their lives. In the back room of a pet store full of rare and exotic fish, old friends discuss dried shrimp and a stranger's relationship. A couple who recently moved into a rustic home in the mountains discovers an unsettling solution to their weasel infestation. And a dinner party during a blizzard leads to a night in a room filled with aquariums and unpleasant dreams. Like Oyamada's previous novels, Weasels in the Attic sets its sights on the overlooked aspects of contemporary Japanese society, and does so with a surreal sensibility that is entirely her own. So I'm hoping to have a good time. Like I said, The Factory is one of my all-time favorites. I didn't like The Hole as much, but that's not a bad thing. It was still a good book. So I'm hoping this goes well. I'm gonna be reading it from Libby. Oh, you cannot see the screen. There we go. It is currently 3:30, so I will check back in with you. And by the time I do it, it'll probably be super dark in here. But see you then. I'm back. Just finished Weasels in the Attic by Hiroko Oyamada. It is a 4-star, another banger from one of my favorite authors. And it was only 89 pages on Kindle, and it was just so good. like, I love this woman's writing. I love it so much. If you are not used to Japanese writing, it might seem a little plotless, but it's there. The themes are there. I enjoyed this book so much. I thought it was like halfway through I was like, oh, you know what, I'm really liking this, but it might only be a 3-star because, you know, earlier this year I read a book that like completely changed my rating scale, changed my life. So I was like, I don't know if I want to rate it as high as I used to, but I'm like, why would I? If I feel in my heart that this is a 4-star, then it's a 4-star. It's just peak. Hiroko Oyamada knows how to do subtlety in her theming, even though honestly of her 3 books, I think this might be one of the, I think this might be the one with the most plot overall, and also it has the most clear themes, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I really enjoyed this. It's a 4-star. And I'm debating if I want to hop into the next book or take a little bit of time to myself. It's 7:48 right now, so I think I might wait until 8 and just like give my eyes a rest, since I've been staring at a screen this entire time. And I think pretty much every book I want to read this right now is an ebook. But I can tell you about the 2 that are on the way. So the one I think I'm going to read after this, I have 2 options. Either I'm going to read Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa, or I'm going to read the second in a series I started earlier this year called Dead Tired. It's an lit RPG by an author called Raven's Dagger. But like I said, I'm gonna wait until 8 to figure that out, and then I'll check back in. Bye. Okay, it is now 8:02 p.m. so I'm only a few minutes late. I contemplated with my good friend over on FaceTime about what I should read, and we decided to go with Days at the Murasaki Bookshop, written by Satoshi Yagisawa and translated by Eric Ozawa. And I'll give you the synopsis. 25-year-old Takako has enjoyed a relatively easy existence until the day her boyfriend Hideaki, the man she expected to wed, casually announces he's been cheating on her and is marrying the other woman. Suddenly, Takako's life is in free fall. She loses her job, her friends, and her acquaintances, and spirals into a deep depression. In the depths of her despair, she receives a call from her distant uncle, Satoru, an unusual man who has always pursued something of an unconventional life, especially after his wife Momoko left him out of the blue 5 years earlier. Satoru runs a second-hand bookshop in Jinbocho, Tokyo's famous book district. Takako once looked down upon Satoru's life. Now she reluctantly accepts his offer of the tiny room above the bookshop, rent-free, in exchange for helping out at the bookstore. The move is temporary until she can get back on her feet. But in the months that she But in the months that follow, Takako surprises herself when she develops a passion for Japanese literature, becomes a regular at a local coffee shop where she makes new friends, and eventually meets a young editor from a nearby publishing house who's going through his own messy breakup. But just as she begins to find joy again, Hideaki reappears, forcing Takako to rely once again on her uncle, whose own life has begun to unravel. Together, these seemingly opposites work to understand each other and themselves as they continue to share the wisdom they gained in the bookshop. So I'm very excited about this, and it's only 172 pages on Libby, so hopefully I should finish it in a relatively fast pace. Let's see how long it takes, especially since as you heard earlier, I'm still on a call with somebody. So wish me luck. I'll check back in when I'm done. Still reading, but I just need to complain for a second. I am almost done with the book. I'm about 75% of the way through. The book is split into 2 parts. I'm in the second part, and they introduced a character who they are trying so hard to convince me is charismatic and like bubbly, and even though she might be a little out there, there's something that inexplicably draws you to her. but all they're convincing me of is that she's a bad person. And like, not in that, oh my god, so evil, intentionally bad person kind of way, but in that so caught up in their own self and so caught up in their own wants that they harm people around them and just don't see it as a problem. And those are some of the worst people. At least if you're malicious, I know it's on purpose, but I matter so little to you that my pain is just a passing thought. Ugh. So I hate this character with all of my being, and I'm really hoping they convince me not to hate them anymore. Anyway, I'm going to hopefully finish soon. It is currently, what time is it? I don't know. It is currently 10:54 p.m. So fingers crossed I finish this book by 12, I guess. I'm so fucking irritated. I am so disappointed. So I just finished the Days of the Murasaki bookshop, and the first part of this book, part 1, great. It was like 80 pages. It was great. They should have ended it there. It was the perfect ending to that book. They should have just stopped where they were. Do not pass, do not to like $200, because the second half of that book pissed me off. I was having a great time. I'm kind of mad. I should have just stopped after the first half. Oh my god, I should have just stopped at the first half. So I need a palate cleanser, so I am going to go wash my face, brush my teeth, you know, get ready for, it is, I don't have my watch on right now. It is currently, what time is it? It is currently 11:18. 11:18. I checked in with you 20 minutes ago, or was it 30? Like 30 minutes ago. So the first half, I took my time reading. I was enjoying every moment of it. It felt so cozy. It felt so good. This one, I was literally speed reading my way through because I was so irritated, and I was just hoping against hope that something would happen. I wouldn't even have been that big of an issue if the character had taken accountability for their actions and the consequences that it had on others around them, but they never did. Ugh, I could rant for days. Anyway, I was originally planning to buy a physical copy of this book. I'm not gonna do that now unless I can find just the first part. If I can find just the first part, then great. Anyway, so like I said, I'm going to do a little palate cleanser. I'm going to wash my face, brush my teeth, and probably watch a YouTube video, honestly. I just need something to get my mind off of how disappointing that book was. And then I will pick up Dead Tired book 2, so that I can start that. I realized I've been sitting in the center of the screen this entire time, so I don't know where I've been putting the book covers, but wherever they are, book 2 of Dead Tired, I'll tell you more about it when I come back. it's dark. Here we go. So it is now 7 a.m. and I woke up and I felt like reading some more, so here we are. But I don't feel like getting out of my very cozy bed. So I found another book to read last night. It's called The Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins. It is written, it's a graphic novel, and it is written and what is the word I'm trying to use? It is written and illustrated by, let's see, this by Clint McElroy, Griffin McElroy, and Justin McElroy. Here's more. And Travis McElroy and Carrie Peich. Illustrator is Carrie Peich. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm currently 13% of the way through it. You can't see that it's dark, but just know that I'm reading. And I will check back in once, one, the sun comes up, and two, I get farther into this. All right, the sun is up, so are we. It is now 9:15. I may or may not have fallen asleep while reading the book, but don't worry, I woke up and finished it. Let me tell you what it is about now that I am slightly more aware. It says, welcome to the Adventure Zone. See the illustrated exploits of 3 lovable dummies set loose in classic fantasy adventure. Read their journey from small-time bodyguards to world-class artifact hunters. Marvel at the sheer metafiction chutzpah of a graphic novel based on a story created in a podcast where 3 dudes and their dad play a tabletop role-playing game in real time. Join Taco the elf wizard, Merle the dwarf cleric, Magnus the human warrior for an adventure they are poorly equipped to handle at best, guided by their snarky DM in a graphic novel that, like the smash hit podcast it's based on, will tickle your funny bone, tug your heartstrings, and probably pants you if you give it half the chance. With endearingly off-kilter storytelling, master goofballs, Clint McElroy and the McElroy brothers, and vivid, adorable art by Carrie Peich, The Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins is the comics equivalent of role-playing in your best friend's basement at 2 a.m. eating Cheetos and laughing your ass off while she rolls critical failure after critical failure. I finished it. It was just okay. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. I will not be continuing in the series, so it is what it is. I thought the illustrations were absolutely gorgeous, and the story was like fun, but it was also, listen, it really does sit better as a podcast in my opinion. I've never heard the podcast, but now that I know that's what it was based off of, I can see it being a pretty entertaining podcast. But reading it in graphic format, it was so wordy. And like, I don't generally, obviously words in graphic novels make sense, but it was so wordy, just so much. So not for me, but that's fine. The next one I'm going to be reading, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. It's about a 1 hour audiobook, and while I do that, I'm going to wash my face, brush my teeth, get ready for the day. In case you have never heard about Alice in Wonderland, which, that's amazing. It's a story of a young girl who suddenly finds herself in Wonderland one day and her adventures getting back home. That's all I got for you. I've never read the original Lewis Carroll book. I've only ever watched like the animated and live action movies, so I'm pretty excited about this. You can't tell because I'm waking up, but I am excited. So let's get the day started. just, hello sir, just finished reading Alice in Wonderland. It was perfectly okay. It was about what you would expect. It's Alice in Wonderland. I am glad I finally got around to reading the book, but I could have lived my life without reading it and nothing would have changed. But I am glad that I finally read it. I think it would lend well to an illustrated version. I know I think they have some out, but I think something that's like really well illustrated to go along with it would be great, because the world is so wibbly wobbly. I think it'd be fun. Hi Riley. The next one I'm going to be reading is Papa and Daddy's Home Cooking. I don't know what it is about, because honestly I looked at the cover and I was like, that looks so cute, and I'm a sucker for a good cover. But let me tell you what it is about. The description on Goodreads is in a different language, so I don't know. I can only assume it's about a dad and a papa making food because it's got their kids. Anyway, I'm going to read it and I will let you know. Okay, I just finished reading Papa and Daddy's Home Cooking. That was book 7 so far, and I read volume 1 and 2. So I guess book 8 was volume 2. And so far I've been having a pretty decent time, except for that one book. But basically everything has been either very middle of the road or very good, which I'm happy about. The next book I'm planning to pick up is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I found the audiobook on Libby, so I'll be reading that. And I'll just, hi Riley, I'll just be listening to the audiobook while I play something on either my iPad or my Switch, and then I'll check back in with you when I am done. Look at this very dramatic lighting. The sun is really sunning today. Anyway, I've got a call, so I'll check back in with you in a bit. Okay, I lied about listening to the audiobook. I decided to read the physical copy because, as you can hear in the background, I'm still on the phone with a friend. So not the physical, but the ebook. So I'll be reading Coraline on my phone and I'll check back in. We're gonna have a good time, guys. Probably. Maybe. All right. Did manage to finish Coraline last night. It was like, if I was a child, that would be full on like scary, especially the descriptions of the rats. Yikes. Definitely would have given me some feelings. I really enjoyed it. Probably will never read it again though, and I didn't enjoy it enough to want to watch the movie, but I did like it. So that was good. And that was the last one I ended up reading. I didn't end up getting to Dead Tired because, I'm gonna be honest, I was dead tired. As soon as I finished, I brushed my teeth and I was knocked out. I was in bed and I didn't honestly, I'm not altogether happy with how this vlog ended up turning out. I felt like it was kind of probably a little bit boring, especially because I didn't have a lot to say about every book, but I am trying to work on my perfectionism when it comes to video posting, and trying to get better at actually posting the videos I record and not just deleting them anytime I'm less than pleased with the outcome. So this is what you get. Here's all the books I finished reading this the end of the 2023, and I guess we will try to get better at vlogging in 2024. See you then.